Hello, my name is Adam Kahn. I'm the Rational Investor, and today I'm going to talk about selling covered calls and try to explain it a little bit for those of you who would like to learn about it. Real quick, I'm not a financial advisor, so please, you need to reach out and make your own financial decisions or talk to your own financial advisors. Just use my information as entertainment purposes only. So, for those of you who don't understand what selling a covered call is, if you own 100 shares of a stock, you can sell a call and get paid for that. I'll give some examples, but let me talk you through what that means. Now, there are calls and puts, which are called options. Calls are bets that people make that stocks are going to the upside. Puts are protection or bets that people make that stocks may be going to the downside. They trade every day on the exchanges. They have weekly calls and puts, they have monthly calls and puts, and they have yearly calls and puts, depending on the stocks you're looking at. I'm going to give a couple examples of some stocks, and I picked Tesla and Amazon just because I think they're popular stocks and wanted to show how it would work in the certain cases of maybe selling a covered call. What happens is if you sell the call and the stock does not go above what's called the strike price that you've chosen, nothing changes in terms of your portfolio. You still own the stock and you've just collected that premium. If the stock rallies above that strike price, you've committed to sell those shares at that price. So if it gets above there, you lose your shares, but you get paid for the stock strike price you've picked. And from there, you still get paid the premium you got for the call because you receive that money when you sell the call. So let me show you what I looked at just a little while ago. Today is Saturday, April 21st, just so you have timelines and can understand the month and strike and everything else of the examples I used. I looked up Amazon, which looks like it closed at $107 on Friday. And then I looked at a June 16th $120 call. The bid for that call was $1.74. So if that's where the people on the exchange are willing to buy it, if you wanted to sell that call, you would get $1.74. It's 100 shares, so that's $174 you'd receive for selling that call, and it expires June 16th. So if the stock is still below $120 on June 16th, nothing changes. You still own your 100 shares. If it's above $120, well, you've agreed to sell it at $120. You get the $12,000 for selling it, and you still get to keep the $174 that you received for selling the call. Now, what I did is I moved that out annually to give you an idea of what type of return that is. So if you did that, you could do it 6 times, since that's a little less than 2 months away. $174 times 6 comes out to 1044. And if I divide that by 10,700, which is what the stock is today, that ends up being 9.75% return annualized to sell calls on Amazon. Your risks are twofold. One, if the stock goes lower, you're kind of stuck in the stock if you get in and out of your positions. Now, if you own them, it makes no difference because you would have owned it anyway. And the other risk is a little bit of upside risk, that if it took off and went to 140 or 150 or something really high, you still have committed to sell it at 120. Um, Now, for me, and the purposes of what I do, I'm okay when I make those decisions, and it's okay if it goes way higher. My attitude is, well, I agreed to sell it at the price I agreed to sell it at, and I can find another stock to do the same thing with. It's okay if I lose that one. So I'll also use Tesla as an example. Tesla closed last week on Friday at $165 a share. The June 16th 195 call had a bid of $3.25 or $3.20. So similarly, if that's where the people at the exchange are willing to buy it, if you sold it, you would be selling it at $320, which is $320. Well, $320 times 6 comes out to $1,920. And if I divide that into the 16,500 of what the stock's worth today, that comes out to 11.6% return annualized. And if Tesla goes higher and gets above 195 and I've sold one of those calls, I'm committing to sell 100 shares at 195. So I get 19,500, but I'd also get to keep the $320 that I got from selling the call. I think selling calls is a great way to make additional money. It helps to get better return on the investment. And again, same type of risk. If I owned 100 shares of Tesla, I would be stuck to continue to own it if the stock dropped lower and I had sold the call. And if it skyrockets to 220, 250, wherever it does, and to be fair, we all know Tesla moves around quite a bit. Um, I've committed to sell it at 195 either way. So if it's at 220 come June 16th, well, I'm selling it at 195 no matter where this, well, if the stock's above there, and getting out of the stock. Now, that does mean I made $30 on the 100 shares as well since it was at 165. If I'd bought it on Friday and sold that call, for me to get taken on the options, it has to be above 195. So I've made $30 on the stock as well as the extra $320 for selling the call. For stocks like Tesla that don't pay a dividend, I kind of think of selling calls as like my ability to receive a dividend. The only difference is, as I mentioned a few times, if the stock goes, I have to sell it. I can't just keep the stock. Whereas if I just get paid on a dividend, it is what it is. Anyway, again, my name is Adam Kahn. I'm the Rational Investor. Hopefully you found this interesting and maybe learned a little bit. Please subscribe, like, give a thumbs up, give a comment of what you don't like, and have a great day.